Daz, hello. I missed you. AC, hello. When are we going to see some live reverse engineering? Probably, like, it's literally probably no time soon, if I'm being honest, because I find reverse engineering is a lot of me staring at the screen, making no progress, and I don't think that makes particularly fun live viewing. And then I would probably just end up talking and not making any progress. Whereas at least I would say I'm better at forward engineering than reverse engineering. So programming live, I find it a lot easier to do and talk and entertain and answer questions. I'm undecided about the reverse engineering stuff, so who knows? I know even less people are doing it, like live, so it is a bit of a niche I could fill, but got this big project at the moment, so we'll see. Queco, hello. Matt, hello. Press the short button, good idea. Thank you. Amankara, hello. It is indeed Wednesday. It's Wednesday all day. Connor, hello. Matthias. I think I'd be tempted to maybe, what I did before was when I released a reverse engineering video, I would use the next live stream to go through some of the content in more detail and allow people to ask questions. So I'm tempted to maybe do that again. We'll see how it goes, but I'm not planning on doing any sort of big series on it. Oh, I do love WMI. Do love Windows programming. I actually quite like Windows programming. Maybe a hot take. It's kind of fun. It's kind of all right. It could be worse. Right. So we got this. Emery, hello. It's been all 17 months. You've really been here for 17 months. That's crazy. Thank you so much for sticking around. Okay, so we got this, and we want more. We want this, but more and bigger and better. So first off, I meant to actually look something up. I think someone mentioned last stream, and I want to fix it first. But in the vertex, no, where was it? Material data, object data. This should actually be what? Align as 64? I think that's right. There's no need for padding when we can just get the language sorted out for us. Let me check. Is that the stud one? What's the alignment requirement for stud 430 alignment? Both the size and alignment of the size of the scalar. That's not right though, because we had an issue, didn't we? Let's see. We can see if that works. It's just is the alignment of the large. So do we need the padding? So we're going to need the padding then, because it means that could change. I can remember all the alignment rules for stud 430. Yeah, that's definitely wrong. I actually. Yes, I remember last time, but that was MSVC. We don't use MSVC, so I think we should be right. I feel like I shouldn't have to pad it. I feel like this is solved by the language, right? Well, fine. Leave it as it is. It's not the... I'll have a look. Okay. So we're working on the material manager. I already have thought... So I've thought about this a little bit more, and I think I might be slightly wrong in my design for this. So I kind of... I kind of had the assumption that materials might be changing quite a lot, because if, say, something had, with the worked example I had being like, oh, if I want something to be emissive and I wanted it to say pulse over time, I would need to update some property of the material. Right, so this could have an emissive color or tint or something like that. I think that's wrong. I think details like that should be part of the entity. Is it 32? Okay, fine. I'll come back to it in a minute. Maybe I was wrong. So I think, anyway, what I'm trying to say is I think basically object, like stuff like that should be part of the object data. That being, because the idea then being like, well, say I had two materials that were exactly the same, I would assign those. So say I had two objects to be rendered exactly the same. They were both point to the same material, but I might want to vary their emissiveness differently. So then I'd have to have two materials. So what I'm saying is that actual property should belong, I think, to the object. So I'm not going to refactor any of this because, again, I don't think I need the persistent buffer now. I don't think I need the triple buffering. It should just be we create all our materials at the beginning and hand them out. We probably don't even need to handle removing them. That being said, I don't know what the shape of this is going to be yet because we still don't handle textures. We still don't have a specular like components. So I'm going to leave this class as is. But once this is a little bit more stable, i.e. once we've done the bindless textures, once we've done the deferred renderer, once we've kind of got the lighting sort of components locked down, then I might go back and refactor this because I think this class could change shape quite a lot. But for now, like it works, it's fine, it gets us going. That's all that really matters. What we do need to do though is we do need a way of getting the material data back from the key, because what I want to do today, so the aim for today is I want to integrate the imgui, which I'm sure if anyone, we used it in the last project, I'm sure most people are familiar with it, but it's a sort of a simple graphical UI immediate mode renderer. It basically allows us to quite easily construct stuff like this. And what I really want is not only do I want this kind of Not only do I want this, I want to make this a much more core part of the functionality than it was last time. In the last project, we slapped it on quite early and then never used it again. Whereas what I want now is basically everything we do to be driven by imgui, because we're going to probably end up building like a small level editor. You know, I want to be able to add entities dynamically rather than editing files and configs and stuff like that. So I want everything to basically be driven by imgui, which is kind of predicated on the fact that we have imgui integrated. So we're going to integrate that first. Then like this color, like although it's only test now, like this should be we should be able to set this from that. I want to be able to add entities. I want to be able to move them around. So that's kind of the aim today. Sort of I reckon like two-ish hours or whatever. Solid work. We should be able to have that integrated and then have a much more interactable scene. Then we might add a super basic lighting pass because we're going to redo lighting properly later, but it might be nice just to be able to have a light that we can move around. And then that's basically setting us up for textures and then done. So let's do that. So I've got some notes from the previous project, so we're not doing it all totally from scratch, but let's open up the where's our CMake? So we need to bring in. So interesting about imgui is that it is not a CMake project. So if we bring in this, let me get the latest version. 4.92.5. This will just bring in, so if we look at the project here, it will just bring in all these CPP files. So we'll need to wrap those up and bring those into the compiler for us. So it's, you know, it's not a CMake project, nothing is perfect, but we can kind of work around that. So we'll bring that in, and then we will need to in source. We will need to add a new target to bring all these in. So we'll do add library imgui lib static, and then here we will just list all the imgui files that we need. So we'll basically build it ourselves. I think we need this. So this magical variable here, it gets automatically created for us by the fetch content CMake gubbins. So this will bring them all in. This will create a library, and then we should just need to make the header files available to us. So that we target include directories, imgui, that's not what I want to type, imgui source dir, and then target link libraries imgui. So that should get us going. Let's just see if that blends. It's true. I cannot, like, one, I never thought I'd be close to 100,000 subscribers, and two, well, actually, that's kind of my point. I never thought I'd be this close to 100,000 subscribers. It's absolutely wild, but pretty close now, like 2,000 off. What's going on? Why is this? Oh, hang on. That's because the imgui lib itself also needs access to the header files, obviously. So now we do imgui lib. Oh, and actually, that's point. If we make this public, then anything that includes it will also get those header files for us. So then we just get that, and then we can drop it from here, which is nice. It's not. Ooh, make the text a bit smaller. Right. That should blend. So this will pull in the code, build a library, slap it into our game. It's going. It sure is going. Oh. I bet it's imgui lib. Quick rebuild. Nothing much to it. Okay, right. So now we can let's write some code. Thoughts, feelings, code. Yes. I'm going to look at what I did before. So source graphics. Let's do debug UI.h. Probably once. Namespace UFPS. Class debug UI. Have some publics. Have some privates. I know, right? Outrageous. I thought I'd try something different. Oh, I think Nightbot is ignoring you. Oh no, what's happened to Nightbot? I don't know if I can log in. Hang on. No, I try to. I don't really write C unless I wrote a little bit of C the other day for some project, and I generally had a bad time of it. It's not my area of expertise. How do I? Right, it's signed me out, and I don't want to sign in live, so. Maybe does it work? Is Nightbot working on Twitch? Someone on Twitch want to hit something? Great. That is Unfortunate. Okay, well, I'm logged in on the tubes, and there's nothing here to suggest it's not working. Like, I've got all my commands. Oh, I just have to hop over to Twitch, I'm afraid. Okay, right. So I want some sort of constructor, some sort of destructor, because it's got the miserable like gubbins in it. And then I'm going to want auto render const void. And then I'm going to want if I remember correctly, I need to shove in #include events mouse button event. I think I need to pass in the mouse button events in through to imgui. So add mouse event const mouse button event evt const void, something like that. And then largely it's all stateless. Like I said, it's just like free functions with global state, which is great. So which I love. So we'll just handle that in the implementation. Requi, thank you. Resum 3 months, much appreciated. So I follow what I think is a reasonably standard convention, which is public, protected, private, and then functions, and then member variables. So if I had a private function, it would be like auto, well, obviously not that, auto foo. And then if I had a member, it'd be int, like x, like that. That's kind of how I do it. I don't actually need, I will do actually, because I will need access to so there's some other gubbins we need to include here. So graphics, I need to move scene into core, but for now, scene, we'll tell it by reference because we might need to mutate it, because we might need to add something to it. Scene has the camera in it. I think the only thing we then need in the constructor is window, and then we take a const window there, and then private will have a window like that, something or nothing like that. I think it can, because it can still mutate the variables passed in. It just can't mutate the state variables. Am I right? Hype train. Cool. Something's happening on Twitch. It all sounds good. Poor IC is going to have to manually type out everything that Nightbot would normally say now. I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know how I sort of tell it to behave. It says online. It says it's set up. They're all going to flood through at some point. It doesn't, like, so the order is 100% irrelevant. The compiler does not give a flying shit what order your stuff is in. I would say for your own sanity and the sanity of people you work with, like, you should be consistent. So this is what I choose to do. It's not what you have to do, but at least everything I do will be consistent. Okay, well, apologies for people on YouTube. Okay, so that's that. So then we can do VS source graphics debug CPPs, and then start implementing this graphics debug UI in space oops, and then not that. Bring those over, slap those in there. Do this. Sorry, I'm just filling in some of the gubbins now. Window. That will have to be. Oh, were you saying this has to be const? Because that does indeed have to be const. Okay. Okay, fine. I'm getting there. Right, so now that we got that, I need to start bringing some of the imgui stuff. So again, my personal preference is the corresponding header at the top, then standard library includes, platform includes, third party includes, and then project includes. So that would be something like include, I think it's backends, imgui, impl, OpenGL 3, and then, because the nice thing about imgui is it has like a common interface for building up the UI, and then you just select like a backend, effectively like an emitter, and it'd be like, okay, I'm going to issue you like reasonably optimized OpenGL commands or Vulkan command buffers or whatever. So that it kind of works quite nicely around that. So include imgui.h, and then hash include graphics scene, include graphics window, hash include events, mouse button event. Okay. Gizmos is literally the next thing. Yes, I've got some sample code for that as well, so we'll slap that in afterwards. Because the idea is I want to be able to change the color of the cubes, and then I want to be able to move them around. And I think that's kind of a good set functionality. Yeah, Pascal case for types, snake case for functions, variable names is reasonably common, but there is no standard. So if you look to like the standard, like the C++ standard almost consistently uses snake case for everything, apart from that weird, what's that horror? So I bet I can't find it now. Yeah, apart from IOSpace init, which has an uppercase I, which is absolutely horrifying and makes me upset every time I see it. That is the only class I think that I'm aware of in the entire standard which has an uppercase letter at the start. Weird init, indeed. Good one. Again, what you use is absolutely, it doesn't matter as long as you're, I would say, it doesn't matter what you do as long as you're consistent with it. So be consistent, whether it's right or wrong, at least be consistent. Excuse me. Okay, fine. So now we need to do a bunch of like misery where we have to call this rando macro. Of course, better check those versions. Don't know what it does, but sure I'm going to call it. And then imgui create GUI create context. I'll have one of those. Auto IO equals imgui get IO. So off to where we go. And then io.config flags or equals imgui config flags underscore nav enable keyboard. Don't know why it doesn't like that. Oh, hang on. Is it enable flags? Config flags? Yes, there is a Google style guide. And I believe Clang format, you can just say something like use like dash style Google and it will just implement that for you, which is quite nice. If you're really not married to any particular coding style, I would suggest just picking one of the three big ones, that being Mozilla, LLVM, or Google, and just sticking with that. However, unfortunately, I'm a little bit funny about it, so I have chosen to I want to enable gamepad for some reason, sort of handcraft my own Clang format file. imgui style dark mode, obviously. Right, and now I need to do imgui. This is where I set up the specific Win32 gubbins. Win32 init for OpenGL, and then I need to pass in here window dot native handle. I think that's right. And then imgui impl OpenGL init. Well, of course, you can make whatever mess you want. You though have to deal with it. And then not my kind of design pattern this, you then have to call the sort of the requisite free functions. I believe in the right order as well. Not, again, it's kind of not really C++y because that should be, doesn't use RAI, but this class is an RAI primitive, so we can get that by wrapping it ourselves. Impl OpenGL shutdown. imgui impl Win32 shutdown, and then imgui destroy context. Get out of here. Okay, so that should be all we really need to set up. So basically, when we call render, we can issue the specific imgui commands, and then it should all render itself because it will just write to the, I believe by default it writes to the default frame buffer. So if we've rendered everything to that, it will render without a depth test. So it will then just literally like paint it over the top, which is what you want. That's what I want. Couldn't speak for you. Couldn't speak for you. Some magic somewhere. Where's the magic? I think the magic is imgui show demo window. Which will give you an example of stuff it'll do. And then at the end, I need to, what do I need to do? I need to do auto IO equals, again, sort of like random global state, which I'm not a fan of, but I've not written a massively popular UI library. io.add mouse button event 0. Can't remember what that is, but I definitely need 0. And then, oh, sorry. What is it? Button? No, it's a button, I think. I think that's the random special imgui number for the left click. And then evt.state is equals mouse button state. Then I basically say, is it a down? So that should wire everything in. So this should let us move the mouse around and do some other stuff. I don't think we need to handle triple buffering because we are not... This isn't going into a persistently mapped coherent buffer, right? There is no... This will synchronize at the end and finish doing the rendering. I don't think this will generate buffers that will not be available to write to on the next frame. I will be using pretty much exclusively the standard library containers that you get in the algos because I think they are, we were discussing this on Discord actually earlier, I think they're an excellent kind of first pass. They're well understood, they work with the algos, they're battle tested, like, you know, you kind of, people are familiar with them, so it's easy to kind of grasp what you're doing with them. And then if we profile it or we need something very special, then I'll rip out those and replace them when needed. But yeah, it'll be vectors, it'll be unordered maps, it'll be flat maps, basically all the way through this. let's just check that blends, and then we'll see if we can integrate it. No. Link error. What am I not linking? What have I missed? What have I missed? It doesn't like, so I can see here, it's like in the imgui lib, which is the library we are building with all the imgui functionality, specifically in this translate, or this object, which has come from this translation unit, in this function here, it's missing a bunch of DWM enable blur behind window. Yeah, which library is that? I don't know what this is. Is this what's the Dunder normally suggests it's a lot like standardized, like it's part of the standard library because it's undefined behavior to create anything that starts with double underscore. But that seems unlikely. We are using OpenGL 4, but I think 3 is as high as it goes in terms of the imgui implementation. That's a good point. I don't think they have a, well, let's have a quick look. I don't think they have a backend. They only have a 3, which I think is fine. It just means it won't be using 4 features. What's the internet say this is? Oh, it is a Windows function. Okay, fine. So I need to. Oh, I just need. Obviously, I need the dual mappy DLL. Obviously. Yeah. I need dual mappy. I think that'll do it. Nice. Okay, fine. So the way I did that was I Googled for the function that we were missing. Then I scrolled down, and in the Win32 documentation, if you scroll down to the bottom, it will tell you the header file is, and then the library that you need to link against. That's how I resolved that. Okay, fine. So now let's go to main. Let's bring in, oh, I don't need that anymore. Graphics. Debug UI, and we'll create somewhere after we create the, I presume probably around the time we create the normal renderer. Where do I create the normal renderer? We'll do auto debug UI equals UFPS debug UI, and then that will be the window. And then here, when we have the mouse button event, we can do debug UI dot add mouse event event. Wire that in. Arg. And then after we render it, which means the back buffer will be the frame buffer we haven't swapped it yet. That's a good point. Oh no, because it'll still render the default frame buffer, and then we'll swap it later. So I should be able to do debug UI dot render scene. See if that blends. Let's see what we end up with. Harand, hello. We're imguing. No, we're not. Oh, have I got to create a frame? Ugh, what a fool. Apologies. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, and I've got a render as well. Oh, what? I've just had an absolute mad one here. Debug UI. So we've got the first. I'm going to just copy this because it's a lot of boilerplate that I do not care about. Oh, that's all the in Gizmo stuff. Spoiler alert. So I don't need IO. Okay, fine. So that'll set up the new frame to render. Then you call the imgui gubbins that you want. Then right at the end, you pull the trigger on render, and then you have to call this. So I think this, I don't know, finalizes the frame and prepares everything, and then this does the actual OpenGL 3 specific gubbins. Presumably, this generates the draw data that this then consumes. Okay, nice. I need like a show mouse or something, I guess. Why am I not? How does one show the cursor? I'm sure there's like a imgui show cursor, isn't there? Yes, but can't I get it to render a software one on top of it? I'm sure there's an option to be like, although the map, because I had this when I was dicking around with Clover Pit, I couldn't get it to show the cursor, but I could enable the imgui because I injected the imgui into the game as it was running. I'm sure there is a. I'm sure there's somewhere around doing it. Hold on one moment. Come on, someone just give me the code. Where is it? It's going around here somewhere. Don't make me ask the Oracle. GUI config flags. Maybe set mouse cursor? I feel like. Let me just find the code. What did I do in. What did I call that project? Clover Pit, beam is C, so it'd be Cinnabar. That's it. Source. D3D11 CPP, and then somewhere in here is going to be the imgui setup. io.mouse draw cursor, that's it. io.mouse draw cursor equals io.want capture mouse, apparently. We are, but I'm not cursoring, and I don't know why. Yeah, I guess I should just use the built-in cursor. It just seems a little bit annoying, that's all. Oh, there we go. Okay, fine. Widgets. What's a good widget? Isn't there like a plotting? Here you go. I don't know. I'm happy it's working now, so that's fine. So what I now need to do is I need to enable it so that that is only rendered. So what I want to be able to do is fly around the scene with the mouse as normal, and then when we press like F1, it stops the controller from responding to mouse input, and then renders the UI. So I think that's quite. I think we can basically just do that from main. So if we do something like auto debug mode equals false, right? And then if arg equals UFPS key UFPS sorry, nope, that is going to be key event UFPS key 1 UFPS key state down. All right, then we can do debug mode equals, I mean, invert that, so that'll toggle it, and then if we're in debug mode, then we just don't respond to that, and then if we are in the debug mode, then we render that. That's all we need. So I thought I had once capture keyboard. I thought I was using that, but it's not the end of the world. So okay, fine. So now we can. Oh, why is this not? Have I got a? Okay, got a. Hang on, I've got a logic. If not debug mode. I tried it and it didn't work, but that doesn't mean I did it right. It just means I gave it a good. I gave it a jolly good go, and it didn't do what I wanted to do. Okay, fine. So now we can move around the scene, and then we can F1 and bring this up. And then we can F1 to start moving around the scene again. Okay, that feels like a commit to me. Have you multiplied? Is your matrix multiplication correct? Have you stuck the scale factor in the right matrix holes? Are you using column major and when you meant to be using row major, and vice versa? There's a multitude of reasons why matrix maths goes wrong, and I've probably done most of them. I've probably hit most of those mistakes live. We're full on FPSing. Okay, fine. So what did I do? I want to ignore that for a start. What was that? imgui.ini. So build imgui, add debug UI class, integrate debug UI. Okay, cool, nailed it. Done. Go home. No, please don't leave me. So the next thing I want to do is sack that off and build out something per entity. So actually, let's change entity, because I think we can afford an entity to have a name, and I don't think that's too outrageous to say it should have a name. So then we go to main, and then that'll be unhappy. That'll be unhappy here. Got name equals key1. So let's just see if we can list the names of the stuff in the scene first, and then we can kind of iterate on it from there. What am I using for git commits? I mean, I feel like there's a facetious answer here, and there's the answer that you actually probably want. This tool is called LazyGit. For git commits, I just use a short text string with nothing in the body. I don't know. Can you use RenderDoc to pull out the matrix? I mean, feel free to ask the Oracle. It might help. Might make things worse. Okay. So debug UI. I think I need like a frame or something. I can't remember all the gubbins. What did I do? What did I do? Probably about a year ago. I guess the first thing we want for sure is, I really hate the way I need to disable that. That seems like a good first start. And then I want something for each object in the scene. So let's do for const auto entity in scene dot entities. Maybe unused. No, mate, using it now. Let's do imgui collapsing header entity dot name. I think it has to be a C-str. It's a very C-like code base. If that, then we can do something inside it, because I think that will then allow you to toggle it. Because you may say, if that is true, then you've opened it up, I think, which means we can then render additional things in it. Okay, nice. So we can expand these. Sorry if the font is super tiny. So let's do something fun. Let's do if imgui color picker. Ugh, they spelled it wrong. I think I need something like float color 3. And then color. And then we'll do something on that. No, I've only got RGB at the moment. That is a latent bug waiting to bite me, because at some point I'm going to want alpha, and I'm going to not have updated all the things I want for it. But that is a mistake I'm willing to make in a future stream. I like auto. I think it's less typing. I think it keeps the variable names aligned. I think it increases readability, and it's less typing. That's my personal opinion, and I'm reasonably consistent with it. It's kind of up to you whether you want to do that or not. Okay, cool. So we've got a color picker. Obviously, it does not pick anything at the moment. Ooh. Oh, we've got to give each one a unique name. Ugh. All right, okay. There's going to be a little bit of string churn in this, but it's a debug UI, so I think we can kind of afford a few extra stirred format. Entity dot name, and then this could be label.cstr. No sound. Are you sure? Or is it just you? And no, I'm not using glue. I've done everything. I've resolved all my I've resolved all my own OpenGL functions, which is a massive pain, but I have done it. Okay, that's better. Someone on YouTube said no sound. Okay, fine. I'm afraid. Whoa. That's okay, const. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to slap in the existing color into here and then write the new color out at the end. I'm just trying to think of the best way to do that. So what does... well, I wouldn't do... Personally, I wouldn't do auto... What was it? X equals unsigned int, like 10. I would do auto x equals 10u. Right, that's how I would do it. I think that's clearer. And it doesn't look like a C-style cast. Well, it is a C-style cast because numerical literals are int by default. I've never used AutoSAR or Misra, but I have used Hiccup before, the high integrity C++ standard. Like, a standard is a standard, and if you need to do it work, like, you will obviously have an opinion on it, but you'll probably have very... If the fact that you're using something like Misra probably means you are mandated to use it. So I have no opinion specifically on those, but I think having a coding like a coding standard can be a good thing. So, I mean, Physics Engine and OpenGL are two totally separate things. You would never write a physics engine in OpenGL. You would write a physics engine, potentially GPU accelerated using something like OpenCL or CUDA, and then you could then render it with OpenGL. But those are two separate constructs. Okay, right. So what's in entity land? We have the material key. So I think our material manager needs to change something. I think I need to do something like auto operator material key material date return a reference, right? And then we can do have I got error included? No. I should include graphics. Nope, sorry. Had a funny 5 minutes there. Utils error. Okay, and then we can do something like const auto element equals material CPU data dot find key, and then we can expect that element doesn't equal stud ranges cend material keys CPU data, and that would be like key does not exist key, and then we should be able to return element, I think. Because it's immediate mode rendering, would it cause an issue if it's local? I thought something because it's all immediate mode. It only uses the scope around it. I could be wrong. What does find return me? So I've only just started using flatmap. So oh wait, it gives me an iterator. So why can't I not? Ooh, what does an iterator look like in this? Actually, that's a good point. An iterator is a what is an iterator? Information to find random access to value type. So why is that not? Have I? Oh, so because it's const. Boundary temperature reference. It's definitely got pair here. So do I want second? I must have misread that. Oh, sorry, value type, and value type is indeed a pair of the key type map type. Okay, fine. So they were right, I was wrong. And I don't want to talk about it again. Okay, so now I can do that. I should be able to do const. Nope. Auto material equals scene dot material manager entity. Well, that's a mouthful. Okay. And then std memcopy into color the address of material dot color, size of color. Just that's in. Obviously memcopy's in C string. So that's in, and then I think you literally kind of just do the opposite on. If they select it, do the opposite. So loop through all the entities, grab the material, create a collapsible header for it, convert the material color into an array of 3 floats, which is internally under the hood, so this is legit. Create a label for it, right there. Display a color picker. If we change the color picker, write that color material back to the material. And I think we buffer the... I think we update the material data per frame, which again, I don't think we need to do in the future. So this would need to change to set some sort of dirty bit to let the renderer know that it needs to redo the data. But for now, because we're just squirting it into the GPU every frame, I think it's fine. imgui does not understand my built-in types, so I can't just pass the color in. It will only accept an array of floats, and my color is abstracted into a color class, so I have to kind of break that abstraction. Okay, looking pretty good. I honestly thought these were the other way around, but that's fine. Let's go for a nice pink. Nice yellow. That's cool. Easy, mate. Done it. Completed it. Does it actually accept keyboard? It doesn't accept keyboard input. That's fine. Would need to wire that in, but that's fine for now. Just gonna mess with everyone's stream compression. So let's do give entities a name. Get material from material manager. So set color of material. Okay, cool. So the next thing I want is in Gizmo, which will allow us to have a Gizmo. You'll see. You'll see. Let's see where we get to. I need. In fact, actually, let's show don't tell. This is what I want. Is something like this, so we can have some widgets like this, which will allow us to then move the things around in the scene. So this is what I want. I want to be able to move our wee little cube around. And then we're done. Just make blocks and make a game. I'm a big fan of small atomic commits because one, it's then easy. Well, it has a couple of advantages. One, like if you're just looking through someone's change, it's easy to kind of see the flow that they've gone through. Two, it's easier to revert individual changes because each one is small and atomic. And 3, it allows you to use like advanced Git things like git bisect, which like when you solve an issue with git bisect, it is incredible, but you can only do that if you have like small atomic commits. So Git is one of those tools where you get out exactly what you put in. So if you have some sort of level of discipline with it, you will find that actually, it's a tool that really can work for you. Yes, I basically use this in barrels and never used it, so I want to use it a little bit more in this project. Yeah, but then that would be undefined behavior, right? Because that's effectively that's a C-style cast, and the first thing it would do is call a reinterpret cast, and then I would end up violating the strict aliasing rule, right? Because I would then have a pointer, I would have 2 separate pointers of different types pointing to the same address. You could bitcast it, potentially. I don't know if that would... Actually, that's a good point. Could I don't know if I can... Bitcast... I don't know if I can do that. Where's that live? Is it in byte? No, bit. I mean, I try, where I split it up, I do try and do it logically into small bits. Like, it's not perfect, right? I'm not going to sit here and commit, make a commit and check it builds, make a commit and check it builds, but I do my best to try and group the changes into sort of like small, like, if I add a new file, then there'll be the new file and then the CMake file for it. So, that's one thing. It's, I'm not perfect with it, but that's what I do strive for that. Yeah, I mean, there's loads of things I could do, right? But I think for now, I'm kind of happy with that. I don't know. We'll have a look at that. I don't know. I'll have to check that in a minute. Okay, so what I want is back to... Oh, what's the latest? Oh, they don't even tag their releases. Oh, no, they do now. Version 1.83. Nice. Take that. Git tag version, what did I say it was? 1.8.3. Last release July 21. Nice. Oh no, I remember doing this before. They stopped tagging their releases and they just do commits now. Like, it's just whatever's on Mastermate. So I guess this is as good a one as any. I remember that from before. Just check I can find and build, bring that in. Okay, it's got that. Okay, so then we can look to, this is the same deal, it just brings in a bunch of files. So what we can then do is go to here where we build this, and then we can just imgui Gizmo source.dir imgizmo.cpp. I think that's all. Oh, and then I need the imgizmo source.dir. Okay, fine. I think that's all I need. Let's just check that. Make builds. Impressive as in long, quick, or short? Those are the same thing. Quick or long? It's definitely faster than the last project was. Although we don't need as much code at the moment. Yeah, it's because it's all it's just GCC and Docker, so there's no weird whine like shim. Okay, fine. So let's start trying to wang this into what we've got. So I think there's an additional bit of setup I need. Source main. Nope. Debug UI. Okay, so after the new frame, apparently I used this last time. Hash include Gizmo. Okay. And then what did I have? So I need here. Okay, fine. So this is where it gets a little bit complicated. So if I have, I'm going to assume that. I need to have one that is currently selected, I guess, or does it not matter? Let's just do it if you've got it open. We'll assume that's kind of selected for now. So do the color picker, and then we're going to want mass matrix. We're going to do const, or nope, we're not. We're going to do auto transform equals entity dot transform, but I believe I should be able to cast this to a matrix 4. Yeah, okay, fine. So transform is our kind of wrapper around position, scale, and rotation, and then it has a cast operator to matrix 4. So if I effectively cast it to matrix 4 here, or construct one from it, then it should just pop out as matrix 4. Did you? No, I never made the LSP work with. Sorry, how did I make it? I just started with kickstart and then just tweaked it from there. I apologize. I don't know if I should. I don't know if I'm a terrible streamer, but I don't really look at any of the ad like options or settings. I just kind of let it run. So then what I should be able to do then is do Gizmo manipulate. Right, here we go. We're gonna have a lot to do here. So the view, so I need the matrix for the camera view. So that will be scene.camera dot data view. Hang on a minute. It wants the view as a bunch of floats. I think I need to get the data out of it. So const auto camera data equals scene dot camera dot data. Okay, and then camera data dot view dot data. No, data dot data this time. Camera data dot projection dot data. Okay, and then I want, let's just do imgui translate to start with in the world setting, because I'm going to manipulate it in the world. And then I need to do camera data. So I need to pass in the float, a pointer to the float data. So I think I'm going to probably need a wee bit of undefined behavior. Oh no, wait a minute. I need to pass in for the floats for the translation data. Sorry. So that would be transform dot data. I think the rest are all just like null pointer, null pointer, null pointer, null pointer. Oh, I think we've got it. I think we've done it. I think we've done it. I think we've got data.data. Don't tell anyone. Oh man, data all over the place. Because I know C++ and I kind of half know OpenGL, so if I'm going to stand up in front of, wow, like nearly 200 people and try and make progress, it should probably be in something that I'm reasonably familiar with. That's right. And I enjoy using both of them. Is that enough? Is that enough? Bleh. What have I missed? I'm draw list. Do I need windows for that? Excuse me. No, I am draw list. Do I need this first? That's annoying because because it'll alphabetize them, so I'll have to put an extra space there, which is a little bit upsetting. Okay. Yeah, not a fan of that. Okay, fine. So let's let this. Okay. Okay, right. We got that. I can't do anything with it. It's got to be to do with this. I thought that would write back into that the new transform. Oh, because that's just a copy, isn't it? I need to somehow set this back, don't I? So I need to then do entity dot transform equals transform. Ugh, that's so annoying. There's no way of going back from the transform because I don't have any code to decompose it. What's the answer there? I think STL is great. I think you should use it if you want to use it. A part of the fun for me is doing as much from scratch as possible. So I think there is value in figuring out the windowing code, the OpenGL function resolution code, a lot of that low-level mechanics, the event handling. I just think it's fun, and I think people get some value out of it. But I think if you want to do something like this, I would definitely suggest using that, because you'll spend, like, we spent a lot of time in the first project, like, building all that out. Okay, so the issue here is that I have this nice transform class, right, which allows me to basically quite simply keep track of the position, scale, and rotation separately, and then I can automatically make sure those get munged into a matrix in the right order. What I have, so this creates a copy of that transform, shoves the data in there, and then manipulates it. So this will, when you drag those things internally, be updating this variable here. I now need to take, because this is a new variable, it's on the stack, I need to take this transform and munge this back into the entity. The entity only knows about transform, and the interface for transform basically says, like, you have to have these decomposed. So I will probably have to find a way of decomposing a matrix back into those. And I thought I had code for this. I honestly thought I had some code for this. So let me just see if I can find it somewhere. If it's not in the transform, I don't know where it would be. So effectively what I'm going to need to do is do const expr transform const matrix for transform, and then somehow set position, scale, and rotation from those. Ugh, find the code somewhere. Decompose matrix into position, scale, and rotation. Given the problem is I then actually need the rotation as a quaternion. So this, someone on the Math Stack Exchange is like, so I think I knew that, and I think I probably could have figured that out. That, sure, yeah, I know the rotation is this, but then then I'm gonna have to go from a rotation matrix to a quaternion. Again, I can only go one way at the moment. Right, sorry, bit of maths now. I have to figure this out. Unless I guess I only care about, because I want to be able to scale and rotate it. Let's be honest. Like, I could just do the translate and that'd be easy, but we're not about being easy here. Okay, fine. So position, scale, rotation. Let's just default initialize those. So position equal. Actually, I could just. No, actually, sorry, change my mind. Position equals vector 3 transform column major 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. Transform 13, transform 14. Well, we'll see how smart I am when this doesn't work. I think that's right. If I store it in column major and I want those elements, because, like, mathematically these are the elements I want, right? I want DHL, not the terrible courier. 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14. Okay, nailed it. So then I need I assume that's the normalize, take the length of the 3 column vectors. brace initialization prevents narrowing, basically, and it's the one true initialization syntax to rule them all apart from where it doesn't work. It was introduced to try and make initialization a little bit easier, but it's actually probably in some sense made it more complex. I prefer it just for its consistency, and it doesn't allow you to accidentally narrow things. Dealer's choice whether you want to use it or not. Have SE article on rotation. Yes, can you post that here? I might not let you post links. Put it on Discord while I try and figure this out. So I want the vector 3 oh, is that not a free function? Oh, I thought I had that as a static method. All the others are fine. Okay, so 0, 1, 2 dot length 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2 dot length. Ugh, what is that? Sorry, that absolute mare there. Let's bring it over here so I can see what I'm doing. This is 100% not going to work. Okay, fine. So scale is that. No, it's not because I need to update those. So 0, 1, 2, and then I need 3, 4, 5. 4, 5, and then 3, 5, and then 6. No, that's not right. 0, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just the same, right? I'm just a number station now. 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, that's going to mess up all my alignment. Worst. Okay. This is true. You do have special anti-nightbot powers. Okay, fine. So that should construct a vector from these lengths. I'm going to leave the rotation out for a second because I want to just see if this will work for us. So the order shouldn't be important. There should be no gimbal lock because we're using quaternions, so that avoids the loss of your pitch roll. The order will be rotation for multiplication, but the transform class should, in theory, handle that for us. Okay, fine. Let's. Oh, okay, okay. It's pretty nice. Pretty nice. So that should mean, in theory, then, that the scale works. I think I all these together. Gizmo scale. I think that's what I need to do. Right, I'm going to have to look up what these other arguments are now because I feel like they could be important. In Gizmo. Oh, can I just? Oh, the snap and the local bounds. Nice. We might need. I think we want that when we build a little. If we end up building a little level editor, we might want the snapping, so you can just only move things in say like increments of 5. Well, this is a plugin for imgui called Gizmo. Right. Okay, I mean that's pretty cool. It'd be nice if we had some better lighting, but you know what you're gonna do. There you go. That's a level, mate. Done it. I feel like there should be better control for this. Like, how do you get it so you get like the bounding box around it? Like, I want this. I feel like I'm obviously, is that what the bounding box argument is? Like if I give local bounds and bound snap. The hell is local bounds when it's at home? Yeah. I guess that must be. Why can you not figure that out? Unless I just need to give a different operation. Ah, bounds. What's that? I feel like I should be able to figure that out from the matrix. Nope. I mean, I guess I'm not giving it any bounds, but I don't understand. I'll have to look that up in a minute. I feel like that should be a thing. But how, I guess. Why can it not figure out the bounds from the scale matrix that's inside it internally? Shouldn't be snapping. I'll double check. Okay, fine. So let's figure out rotation. Okay, so we can extract the rotation matrix. That's fine. The axis is it's just a simple eigenvector. This is the fact that you can change both. You have to be with the form. We're writing it as yes. I don't think I supplied. What's my W component then? Okay, fine. Thank you. And then I've got to translate all these into my column major indexing. Ah, what's this? I'm just going to keep going down until I find a code sample I like the look of. It's a survey of attitude representations from the Journal of Astronautical Sciences. Okay, fine. Ugh, no, absolutely not. Thank you. Wait, I have never seen that symbol in matrix in linear algebra before. Sounds like this. This is what we want. Oh, what a pain. Hang on. I swear like part of this is already solved. No, it literally is X, Y, Z, and W. So how does the camera do it? Because the camera is in Eulerian angles, right? Okay, that just uses a direction. That doesn't transform into rotation. Oh, I'm just going to have to grind this out. I'm really not happy about it. Just I feel like there is no shortcut for this. I'm just going to ask I will ask the Oracle quickly just to see if there's in C++ with a column major 4x4 matrix, which is a float 16. How do I convert that to a... How do I extract the rotation as a quaternion? Yeah, we have used GLM before to verify our stuff, like because you can import it into Godbolt. Oh my goodness, there's so much code. Oh. But I don't know if I have uniform scale. Like my quaternion is the most basic thing in the world, right? It does absolutely zero quaternion maths. It's literally just a holder for the X, Y, Z, W component. It kind of assumes you have constructed those yourself. To be fair, the Oracle's code looks awfully similar. Okay, so we don't need that. I don't know what these are doing. And M is going to be transform. I don't mind using AI for this because I would literally just be copying it off of like an academic paper anyway. So it's not like I've done any of this from first principle. I don't care too much about error, about the precision. Like I'm kind of going for good enough. I feel like I'm doing something. If I make it look like how I want it to look, I don't care about that. I'm sure it's fine. Scale Y, scale Y. Yeah, fine. Well, maybe next time I'll we'll do it pen and paper. Look at all the value I'm adding though. I don't know what these do. I guess they're important. Okay, fine. So calculate the scale, calculate all that gubbins, calculate quaternion using we're using the trace method. So Q then becomes rotation. Apparently that's it. That's all we need. Bish bash bosh. I do not need these comments. It means absolutely nothing to me. Okay, fine. Let's give it a go. I mean, sure is doing a a good old rotate there. Can't have two of them active at the same time. Yeah, I mean the rotations work. Like fair play to Gemini 3. It sure does know it's a matrix multiplication. Can't argue with those results. Beautiful. Completed, mate. Last project done. In the bag. Okay. So what we've done, we've decompose matrix to transform. I'm actually shocked all that worked basically first time. Add Gizmo, manipulate entity transforms. Okay, what I want to do now, I think in the last half an hour-ish of the stream, I was kind of hoping to get that far. What I want to try and do is picking. So what I want to be able to do is be able to click here and it selects this one and bring up the widget, and click here and bring up this one. My understanding is there's kind of two ways to do this. One, you can like cast a ray from the camera into the scene and trace it all. What I'm actually going to do is cheat. I'm going to sample the frame buffer where I click it and see what color it is, and then deduce from that what entity it is. I think that'll be enough to get us going. Because what I want to do, my kind of vision is that when we fill out the G buffer, we'll have albedo, normal, specular, emissive, and then also potentially could have an entity ID one as well, and then assign each entity like a random ID which corresponds to a color, and pick it. So it's fine. So it shouldn't. I mean, if there's Z fighting, then yeah, I'll pick whichever pixel is on front. But like, I shouldn't have to worry about sorting and casting, and then because if I was doing casting, I'd have to write all the maths to intersect a ray with the cube, and then find out which is the closest point, and it sounds like a massive nightmare. Whereas like all the information is basically here, right? It's got to be able to click it. What I can't do is remember how you get a texture coordinate from an OpenGL buffer. I think you need to. I think there's a function which allows you to copy a chunk of pixels back, but I can't remember what it's called. I should have looked this up before I started this, so that's going to be fun. I didn't think I'd get this far. There's GL read pixels, but I think that's like dog shit slow, isn't it? I think full plus rendering is pretty cool. It's probably way above my skill level though. It sounds like a lot of work. Performance is fine. Like Docker has full access to all my cores, right? It'll run as fast as it would natively. GTEX quad pointer. Yeah, that might be it. I think what I want is GL get texture subimage. Retrieves a subregion of texture images from a texture object. Can I don't think. Oh, this actually might be a little bit more complicated because I don't think because I just rendered to the default frame buffer. I don't think that is backed by a texture, or at least not one that I have access to. So I either need to now introduce effectively a post-processing pipeline where I render everything to a texture and then blit it to the back buffer, or I just cheat and just use GL read pixels from the frame buffer. To be honest, this might just be enough to get going, because it's all going to change when we have multiple render targets and everything's still going to change. So actually I think this might be the best way to get going. Yeah, I mean, I could trace array, right? But then there's a lot of maths involved that, and I'm walking the scene and like doing ray triangle intersection and pulling all the data in and applying. You have to remember all those squares. The actual vertex data for them is normalized device coordinates, right? Between that -1 and 1. So I then have to apply a scale to that. It's a lot of work. Whereas I think like if I'm just like, what's the color I clicked on, especially if I've got no lighting. So let's try this. Let's do. Oh man, it's so old. It's even. I think I've just got it. EVT dot X EVT dot Y. I've no idea what type those are. They are floats, and this does wants GLUint. Hang on. So what's screw it? Let's give it a go. All we can do is our best. I'm sure Harand is having an aneurysm at my attempt at doing scene picking. Width 1 pixel piece. Format is going to be GL unsigned byte. I think. Oh, so format is GL RGB. The format is GL unsigned byte. And then I'm going to want stood uint 8t buffer 4 3 2 1 and then buff size. Oh, is that size in bytes or specifies the size? That's not useful. Buff size specifies the size of the buffer in. I'm going to assume it's in bytes rather than number of these. Oh no, wait a minute, I don't need it. Sorry, that's for read n bytes. Nope, take it all back. I take it all back. Take it all back. Don't even need it. Looking at the wrong one. Format, and then I should be able to just give it like, I don't know, buffer. And then we will, let's just log that there for starters. Utils log. Log debug R G B buffer naught, buffer 1, buffer 2. Let me see what that does. Yeah, sure. So if I click green, black, red, Nailed it. Thanks. You're right, the middle one is correct. The location is the location is in the lower left corner of the rectangular. I just want to read it from the. Is it because I've not swapped it yet? Oh, no, it shouldn't matter because it should just pick it from the previous frame. What I want to do is I want to be able to pick the objects by what color they are. So I want to be able to, when I get a mouse event, I'm like, if I click that, then I want to know I've clicked on the green cube. And if I click that, I want to know I've clicked on the red cube. You know, picking, but by the lazy way. So I just kind of assumed I could just sample the current frame buffer. I should probably read what it does. Return pixel data from the frame buffer, starting with the pixel whose lower left corner is at XY in client memory location at location into client memory at HD. These parameters. Do I need to like bind? Oh, that's a good point. Let's log ebt ebt. Oh my god, have I not got any? Outrageous. That's a. Oh, fucks. Hang on, I've decided to launch Keepsake again. So that's be like up there and up there to be anything. So I do get like reasonably sensible integral things. What was someone saying? Second paragraph of description. Yeah, that makes sense. I just. Oh, here you go. If a non-zero named buffer object is bound to the GL pixel pack buffer. Ugh, what is this? If a non-zero named buffer object is bound to the GL pixel pack. Do I need to bind something to this? Do I. Sorry, guys, I got it. I got it. It's going to be GL bind buffer. GL pixel pack buffer 0. That's what it's going to be. It's got to be. I was so confident. Let's just. If I just make it like so, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter about coordinates, right? It should always be green. I think it's the bottom left, but like I said, it shouldn't matter if the whole screen is green. It should always return something. So I'm just trying to work out. It's not multi-sampled. No, it's just this. It's just this. That's a good point. Actually, it shouldn't be multi-sampled. Oh, oh, okay, okay, okay. I wonder if I've accidentally made. I thought the default. We had all this issue before. Hang on, let me just. Still nothing, but we should remove that anyway. Is this just not how I do it? Oh, hang on. I've just found. Just clicking around. I've just found something. I don't think I need this. I think I. Yeah, bind frame buffer GL read buffer 0, and then I need to actually GL read buffer GL color. I suppose I actually just need to download all the data from the GPU into the CPU in some internal weird driver thing. This will work. No, because I'm pretty sure the default screen we set up is RGB. That is RGBA. Okay, fine. We could try setting it to 4. I think the issue is it doesn't like this. Hang on. The required buffer. So I need to bind a buffer to read from it. Invalid. I am largely guessing now. No, color attachment 0. I'm rendering. That's my output. Is the 0th color attachment, so that is fine. Apparently, I could also create a PBO, a pixel buffer object. Yeah, I'm not convinced either. Yes, I'm getting very unexpected results. I'm getting nothing. Let me show you. So if we click here, here, and here, obviously I get 2 click events per one, but the RGBs are always 0. Yeah, I'm just trying to. I want to read back the frame pixel. Apparently, I don't know. Do I want a PBO? Get to be quick. Can you validate your read pixel function? I mean, I don't know how. I meant I could try running it through rendered doc, but I would never be able to capture that frame where that is issued. I thought it was gonna be easy. I always. They are screen coordinates. And I've tried doing it so I'm just the whole screen is just green, so it doesn't matter about screen coordinates, and it still always returns zeros. Ask the Oracle. It'll infer the size of this from these things. It'll be like each element is this size, and they'll have 4 of them. The Oracle is convinced I just need to do GL bind frame buffer, GL read frame buffer 0. And then GL read buffer GL back. I am reading before the swap, I think. Well, I guess it depends when you do the mouse click. I guess you have no way of knowing, right? Because the mouse click is indeterminate. But no, so the mouse click, sorry, is handled before that frame swap. So if you have a click on a frame, it will do all the processing. Then right at the end of the frame, it calls swap. Didn't like that. Frame buffer target is invalid. Yes. No, because yes, you're right. I see what you mean. Yes, because what's happening is it's calling it here, and I'm not rendered yet for this. So I do suspect. I wonder if that's the issue. No, the full color was just me like looking like directly at the cube. Well, I have no. I don't have a frame, but I have none of the frame buffer infrastructure set up at the moment. If you look, I literally just I don't bind. I just use the default frame buffer, right? I have no FBO or anything like that because I just render to it. I think what I need to do is hang on, let me just try and hack something in super quick. So we're going to do, and then we're going to do click equals EBT. And then, what is that? Pretty sure that should work. And then this gets called after rendering. So that's click. I don't really like this, but reset. It should be overloaded. I'm using the incorrect target for GL bind frame buffer. Okay, fine. Well, I should probably do this anyway. So let's. Oh, it's because it's const. Okay, fine. We've got some things to try. We'll try them all. Don't worry about it. Don't you worry about it. Okay, fine. Click and oh, sorry. Crash. Okay. So we also think then this should be GL read frame buffer. Oh, didn't crash. Oh, look at that. Nice. Well done. Sure, you can ask a C++ question quick. I could do with some more shorts. I mean, I'm more than happy to help. I will probably be wrapping up soon, though, so it depends how long they are. Does that mean... Ugh. Does this mean technically I don't need that delayed click handling now? Oh, interesting. Okay, fine. I still need that. So that's part of the problem. That's fine. Okay, fine. And then from there, we could... what we need to do then is track which entity is currently active and then only do the transform based on that. Collapsing header. How do I... I want to make this open only if it's the currently active entity, and then changing it would change the currently active entity, if that makes sense. The floating point types in C++ are float double and long double, but no, we don't talk about long double. Yeah, there's no event system at the moment. Like, we'll probably write some sort of message bus and event handling system later on. We don't really need it for now. Yes, thanks. I'm probably tempted just to call that here. This is hardware rendered. It uses OpenGL. Yeah, I think most implementations just alias long double to double. I think most of them just do that. Depends on the type of A. Can we no, I'm probably going to leave this here. I think what we'll do is we'll let's just disable multi-sampling for the back buffer, for the window buffers, I guess. The default buffers. You have to define under the hood what architecture you're on. Congrats, we got it solved. We got it sorted as well. I haven't had a chance to integrate it, but we had an incorrect flag and we're doing it at the wrong point in time. So by combining those two things together, we can pull the color out, which means start of next stream, we will finish integrating that, and then if A is just a unique pointer, then it will just invoke that member function on that type, right? It will call foo on A. Yes, and that's what I want to do. Spawn more cubes, click to move them around. Maybe some basic, like maybe just like a basic point light that we can move around as well, just to give the scene a little bit of like realism, and then we can do textures. I mean, parameters only pushed onto the stack on x86 32-bit, and they should go in registers on most 64-bit calling conventions. Obviously, it depends on the ABI and stuff like that. So the Win32 API, what that stuff that uses, is it fast call? I think still on 32-bit. Can't remember. Have to look it up. Because I like the Linux development environment. Right, let me commit these up. So first pass object picking. Cool. Okay, let's stick that in the Git hole. I will not make everyone watch me as I do this. I will just do this off screen. Oh, I do need a stream tackle. Well done. Good spot. What are we up to? Stream 7. I stream twice a week, Wednesdays and Sundays, normally for about 2 hours a time. So it starts they all start at 8 o'clock UK time, so normally UTC, unless we're in some miserable daylight saving time, but 8 o'clock UK time, and then I normally stream for like 2 hours, and that's Wednesday and Sunday. That's a good point, actually. I think I'm still streaming Sunday, but I will not be streaming Christmas Eve, but I think I might be back the following Sunday. So I think over the Christmas period, I think I'm only going to drop 1, maybe 2 streams. So keep an eye on Discord and I guess the YouTube chat for that, and the Discord the Twitch schedule, if that is your thing. Yes, I am. Vim and NWSL. Yes, join Discord. We have a community challenge on at the moment, so over the month of December. So if you want to come along and write some shader code, I'll hopefully do some sort of review and or I don't know, judging in the new year. We'll do it live. It'll be good fun. You can do it in whatever you want, whatever language, whatever shader code you want. Just the idea is just to kind of have some fun writing some shaders. It could be a demo, it could be a game, it could be something visually interesting. The rules are pretty loose. Yeah, exactly. Thread safe lock free reference counted object. I just go and look at what the current literature is. I'll probably go and see if Boost had it first. Like, why? The question there is, why am I writing that, and why does that not already exist? I mean, you start off with sequential consistency, right, and relax them where you need to. I very rarely use anything other than sequentially consistent. I think you'll be really careful with that. Like obviously, shared pointer, you can relax the the read or the write. I can't remember which one it is. You can relax the decrement. But yeah, like why am I writing that? If you want to do it in Excel, sure. I believe Excel has Copilot now, so you can be like, import ray tracer. I thought picking the pixel color would be easier, if I'm being honest. I honestly thought it would be easier. Everything is Copilot. Okay, right. I think. Hang on. Let me just embiggen myself. I think that's largely done. Oh, I merged my PR. It's exciting. Yeah, well, I'm hoping I can kind of expand on that, and then we'll have a separate picking render target, which we can maybe optimize a little bit. Because at some point I really want to add decals, so for when we shoot we can put a bullet hole on the wall, and I guess you might be able to pick with can you pick with that? Yeah, I mean if you're firing from first person, there's no reason you couldn't just pick with that. I don't know how that would work with other like AI, like with like enemies and stuff. I might still have to do some raycasting, but we'll see. All fun and games. That's merged. That should be creating the release now, so I get a notification on Discord in a minute. I won the race condition today on GitHub Actions, which is nice. I've been writing in 26 where possible. As much fun as it is answering these random C++ questions, I will have to wrap this up. I'll try and what's the last one? When is it safe to convert T-star to void star? You can always convert T-star to void star, right? And you can always convert it back again. That's literally that's the point. What you do with that, I guess, is kind of up to you. Right, cool. Anyway, thanks for the interview questions. You can always ask more on Discord. Cool, right, that's it. I'm gonna have a beer. I've got cut up some shorts, and I will see you all. What day are we on? See you all Sunday, I think. Yes, see you all Sunday. Thank you very much. Catch you all anon.